That's an atmosphere I never want to raise my children in. I want my children to feel comfortable when it comes to money. I want them to feel knowledgeable. I want them to feel empowered. I want them to see the opportunity that money can give you. I want them to see that, yes, you can make money, but you can make even more money if you are smarter and wiser with what you have. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Sunday Stylist. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I am 100% passionate about in my life, and that is money. If there is one thing in life that makes sure that my kids are educated on every extent, it is money. Why? Because the way you handle your money can make or break your life. Now that might sound a little dramatic, but trust me, it's not. Because let me tell you, there have been times in my life when I have had no money. There have been times when I've had, just enough to get by. And there have been times when I've had a decent, good amount of money. And I'm here to tell you now that life is a whole lot less stressful when you have money than when you don't. If you do not have money in your life, your stresses are going to be way up here. Once you have gained control of your financial future, you will feel that level of stress just drop from your life, and it is worth it 100%. So I'm going to share with you 3 simple tips on how to take control of your financial future today. The first thing is a budget. You cannot in any way, shape or form take control of your financial future if you do not have a budget. The absolute first step in successfully managing to take control of your financial future is to have a budget. You need to know exactly where, down to the very last cent, every bit of your money is coming in and every cent of your money is being spent. Now, this isn't something that you can just do a rough mental calculation on in your head. This is something that you need to devote a good 30 to 60 minutes going through your last month's bank statement, line for line, and seeing exactly where you are spending every cent of your money. If you can't do that, I would suggest getting a notebook and just spending a month or so, or even a good couple of weeks, writing down every single cent that you spend your money on. You spend your money on an electricity bill, you write it down. You spend your money on a takeaway coffee, you write it down. You spend your money on drinks after Friday night, write it down. You've got school shoes for the kids, you've got groceries, you've got milk that you have to pick up on the way home. You write down every single thing, every cent. This is going to give you a 100% accurate idea of exactly where your money is going on a weekly, fortnightly, monthly basis. You need to do this for a decent amount of time so you get an accurate snapshot. You can't just do it for a day or two and say, oh yeah, I've got this. It needs to be accurate. And let me tell you, you are going to be shocked when you realize how much your magazines, how much your takeaway coffees, how much your iTunes downloads, how much your nights out at the cinema, how much your drinks after work on Friday, they are going to add up. And they are going to add up, and you're going to see that you are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on all these little things that you're spending without even realizing that that is where your money is going. Now, I use a DIY spreadsheet in Excel, and I have it set up so that it shows me the weekly, the fortnightly, monthly, and yearly breakdown. And this works perfectly for me, and I have set it up in Google Drive, which is fantastic because, best of all, it's free, 100% free. So firstly, you want to work out your total income, and you want to include all money coming in from all sources. For example, your salary and wages, any allowances, child support, investment from income or shares or dividends, or income from alternative revenue streams such as, for example, an AdSense account on your blog or your YouTube channel. The next thing you need to do is determine all your expenses. And my preferred budgeting method is to group expenses into one of several categories. The first is fixed essential expenses. Now, these are fixed expenses that you must pay every week or every month or however often, and they don't change in price from time to time. They stay pretty much the same. So this is, for example, your rent or your mortgage or your mobile cell plan, internet, electricity, your insurance for your home and contents, health insurance, car registration, things of that nature. The next category is variable non-essential expenses. Now this is things that you must pay for, but they can vary up and down in price. So this is stuff like, for example, groceries or school expenses, transport fares, public transport, petrol to fill up your car with gas, and like, for example, clothes and shoes. You need to have these expenses, but they can fluctuate from time to time. The last category that I like to include are non-essential expenses. So this is any expense that is just sort of fun money. It's not an essential expense. So for example, this would include things like Netflix or cable, takeaway, eating out, coffees, entertainment, things like that. Once I have all the items I spend money on, I enter it onto an Excel spreadsheet to calculate how much I am spending every week, every fortnight, every month, every quarter, and every year. Now, when you see how much money you are spending per year based on what you have gathered that you're spending in a month on, for example, takeaway coffees, that can be quite shocking. You can find that you're spending anything around $1,500 a year on takeaway coffees. Now, I don't know about you, but there are quite a few things that I would rather spend $1,500 a year on than takeaway coffees. Same goes for Netflix. If you're spending $12 a month on Netflix, if you're spending $50 a week on eating takeaway, those amounts all add up. And when you have it in your spreadsheet and it's factored out across the year, it's shocking and it's really in your face, and there's no escaping that is where your money is going. I'll insert a screenshot of an example budget based on, for example, a basic single income household with normal day-to-day expenses. So using the example, if I wanted to really improve my household's bottom line, I can either look for ways to increase my income. For example, I could, if you're working already full-time, maybe you could ask for a pay rise, ask to pick up more shifts or more hours at work. You could get a second job, work in the evenings or on the weekends. You could babysit your neighbor's kids or offer a dog walking or pet minding service for the neighborhood. There are endless opportunities if you are willing to put in the effort to increasing your income. Additionally, I would look for ways to minimize my expenses, and the easiest area of expenses to be able to minimize are the non-essential expenses, obviously. So the things like cable, Netflix, takeaway, eat out, alcohol, things of that nature. They are the easiest to cut back on and to minimize. The other things that you can do are look at ways you can reduce your fixed essential expenses. For example, could you find a cheaper provider for health insurance or home and contents insurance, third-party insurance on your motor vehicle, cheaper utilities provider for your electricity or gas bill? You can always look. There's no harm in getting on the phone, ringing around. This is what I'm paying now. Can you beat it? Okay, that's another way. All right, my top tips for managing bills. To request your bills on a monthly basis. For example, if you're normally getting an electricity bill on a quarterly basis and it's maybe $300 or $400, that's going to be a big bill to have to handle. If you get that broken down into a monthly bill of $100, I tell you what, $100 is much easier to pay than $300, $400, or whatever it is it's going to add up to. This also gives you the opportunity to track how you are spending your money. And for example, if one month your electricity bill is getting a little bit too high, you can sort of keep track on those expensive items like air conditioning in summer or heating systems in winter. And you can track and adjust how you are spending your money. Another thing I like to do is to set up automatic debits to pay bills from my income account based on my income frequency. So if I'm paid, for example, fortnightly, I like to set up that my big expenses like insurance, health insurance, car expenses all come from my account and they come on a fortnightly basis. So it's matching up with how I'm paid. If you're paid on a monthly basis, you get them all lined up monthly. It just makes it so much easier to manage when your incomings are matching up with your major outgoings. Okay, some tips on tracking expenses. I have set up an Excel spreadsheet where I use one worksheet per month to track every single expense that I spend money on. So I'm keeping track of this like an accounting journal. So I have 1 month, I've got all the date listed, and then it's it's broken up into categories where I just list whatever I'm spending money. So if I go to the grocery store, I put it in the groceries column. If I go out for, you know, a night out, I put that in my entertainment column. If I go out and I spend petrol, I put that in my household expenses column. This way I can track not only what I'm spending and making sure I'm on track to achieving budget on a weekly basis, but at the end of the month I add it up, I total it up, I make sure I'm not going over, and I can readjust my budget if I see that there is, for example, if I'm regularly overspending or underspending in some areas, I can readjust my total budget so that it can be accurately reflecting what I am actually spending as we progress through the year. It's really important to keep a track of every single cent that you spend, because it is so easy to start letting money slip through your fingers on just random stuff. You know, Sephora, Starbucks, takeaway coffees, makeup, going to the chemist at Priceline to get one thing and you walk out with $50 worth of stuff that you don't even need. You need to keep a track, and the best way to do that is to force yourself to manually write down and keep track of every single last expense that you are spending your hard-earned cash on. Because if you let it go, you're never going to get it back. It's much easier to keep hold of it and not spend it than to try and make more and more and more money. An easy way to ensure that I'm not overspending money on just fun stuff, the junk money, fun money, is to take out cash. So for example, if your budget is $50 per week for you to just spend on, you know, fun stuff, whatever you like. If that's magazines, if that's makeup, if that's, you know, non-essential clothing items, or, you know, you want to buy a new handbag or something like that, that's it. That's your $50. You take that out from the bank and that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. If you want to buy something that is more than $50, you want a makeup palette that's $65, you save from this week $50 into the next week and then you buy it. Once it's gone, it's gone. You don't just keep drawing more and more money out to be frittering away on little tiny things that all add up. You just set yourself your limit, set yourself your budget. You have that cash in your wallet. Once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, savings. You don't want to save what's left over after spending. You want to spend what's left over after savings. So once you've got your budget set up, you are going to be in a very, very clear position to get a really accurate idea of how much money you've got at the end of each week or fortnight or month or how often you get paid to save, to put towards your savings and investment goals. If there's one thing that you should teach your children from the second they get their first pocket money or their first paycheck, that is to be disciplined when saving on a regular basis. If you don't have kids, you need to teach this to yourself. You need discipline to save on a regular basis. Why? Because the power of compound interest. There's a great money saving website that I'm going to link below. I'll put a little link on the screen here, and it has got some really fantastic savings calculators. So it allows you to enter in your saving goals or savings scenarios and determine how much you need to save and how often you need to save it to reach your savings goal, or how much you can save if you save, for example, a set amount regularly. For example, if you have a child and you save $1 per day from the day they are born into an investment account, which is returning 3.5% interest calculated monthly, you will have just over $9,000 for that child by the time they turn 18. And it's a handy little Kickstarter for an 18-year-old to have, you know, close to 10 grand in the bank account. And I highly doubt that you will ever miss a measly $1 a day when it comes to giving your child a good kickstart in life financially. Alternatively, if like me, you have a child who's 9 years old and you'd like to start saving now so that he has, for example, $20,000 by the time he's 18, that you want to gift him when he's 18. Accumulated by his 18th birthday, you can use the savings goals calculator to enter in the starting savings balance if you have anything to contribute initially, or you can enter it as zero, the expected interest rate, and the term of investment. So if he starts when he's 9 years old and you want it to be finished by the time he's 18, obviously the length of investment time is 9 years. The savings goal of $20,000 would see that I would need to save $153 a month, or around $5 a day, to have a nice little $20,000 nest egg to gift to my son on his 18th birthday. The thing to remember is, with savings, like everything in life, The earlier you start, the easier it is. The earlier you start saving, the less you have to contribute regularly to achieve that same goal. For example, my 9-year-old, I would have to save $153 a month to reach that same goal. If I did it for my 4-year-old, I would only have to save around $88 a month to get to that same goal of $20,000 by his 18th birthday. The wise have wealth and luxury while fools spend all they get. This is the biggest truth when it comes to money. I know so many people who just spend. Whatever money they make, they spend it. You earn it, you burn it. They even burn it before they earn it, and they've got their credit cards racked up. This is just mind-bogglingly scary for me as a single parent on a single income with 2 children to be, financially responsible for. I'm really passionate about taking really good, positive, proactive control over my financial future, and I really want to impart that onto my children. I want them to be knowledgeable about money. I want them to be not fearing money. I want them to know how to handle it. I want them to know how to take advantage of compound interest and savings and things like that. I think it's such a valuable thing that we can teach our children, and I'm so shocked that it's not something that is taught in schools as a basic everyday subject. How to manage your money, how to run a household budget, what is compound interest, how do you save, what am I going to need to be saving to get a house deposit saved by the time I'm ready to buy a house in 5 or 10 years time. The great thing is that you can set up saving goals for anything you want. So holiday, a new car, a house deposit, investment property, a new luxury handbag, anything you want. The choice is yours. Once you've got your finances under control and you have got your budget worked out and you know what position you're in and you have money that you can regularly set aside and save for different things, it just makes your life so much freer and so much easier, and above all, so much less stressful. My third tip, and the most important one I think when it comes to any kind of goal or budgeting or trying to achieve anything in life, is to keep your goals before your eyes. So the saying is, you can't just think it, you've got to ink it. So you've got to write it down, you've got to put it in writing. You have to make the vision clear and keep it plain before your eyes. Once you have developed a budget and set yourself some savings goals, you need to print them off and keep them before your eyes. You need to keep them where you can see them every day. It's so important to have your goals and budgets in writing. You can't just think it, you have to ink it. I have my weekly budget. I have printed it off and laminated on a credit card size piece of cardboard. It's laminated. I keep this in my wallet in front of my credit card. So whenever I go to spend any money, if I go to spend anything on my card, I am reminded of my budget and of my savings goal. You keep it before your eyes. When the vision is clear, the results will appear. I am a big believer in that saying, and I cannot stress how important it is to keep those goals in plain sight. Write them on paper, keep them in plain view for you to be able to see every single day. I record every cent that I earn and every cent that I spend on a daily basis, and I regularly review my savings goals to make sure that I'm on target. I don't want to just start off in January with all these big plans to save this, to not spend that, to have this budget, and then by March to be, I don't even know where I am financially. Whoa, I've racked up $4,000 credit card bill. That's not good enough. You need to be consistently reviewing and taking action to making sure that you're on track with your budget and savings goals to make sure you meet your targets. So that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found something useful and positive. And if you have, don't forget to share this video. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can share it wherever you want. You can tell your friend to watch it. I hope it has inspired you or motivated you in some way or given you some sort of valuable information that you can take away and you can put into use in your own home, your own household, your own finances, with your own children. I cannot stress how important it is to have education, not only for yourself, but especially for your children. I was raised in a household where money was probably the #1 cause of parents fighting and arguing and stressing constantly about it. That's an atmosphere I never want to raise my children in. I want my children to feel comfortable when it comes to money. I want them to feel knowledgeable. I want them to feel empowered. I want them to see the opportunity that money can give you. I want them to see that, yes, you can make money, but you can make even more money if you are smarter and wiser with what you have. Okay guys, that's it for this. If you liked this, hit the like button. If it's on your Apple TV, too bad, because I can't even figure out. If anyone knows how to like a video on the new Apple TV, please let me know, because when I watch YouTube videos and I like it, I like to let the creator know that this has been a valuable and interesting video. It's great feedback for the person that created it. But I can't figure out how to like videos using the new Apple TV. The old Apple TV you used to be able to use, pause it and scroll up and you could like it. The new Apple TV, we got one a couple of weeks ago. I can't even figure out how to do it. I've Googled it and they say, oh, Apple doesn't like talking to Google or something like that. I'm like, fuck's sakes, put your differences aside and just make it easy for the consumer to be able to use your technology effectively for everyone. Don't be a technology snob, Apple. Fuck's sakes, man. You already control the whole bloody world. Let people like a video if they like it using their Apple TV remote. Alright guys, enough ranting from me. Happy days, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.